Hi, you guys. How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday? It's Godwin here, and I am so excited to be chatting with you. Super excited. Thank you so much, Jacqueline and Allison, for putting this together. I'm just soaking it up. There's so many rock stars with such amazing knowledge, and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this lineup. I am just honored. Super excited about sharing with you guys today, and I get to talk about one of my favorite topics. That's pretty awesome, right? So I'll give you a little bit about myself. I joined Scentsy in 2009, and I'm not a mermaid. I just joke about that. But yeah, so I did just join for the kit, and I had a little 2-year-old at the time, and I was crazy busy working 6 days a week until 7:30 at night most of the nights, and it was crazy. I was overworked and really stressed out, and when Scentsy came into our lives, it didn't really, to me, I wasn't inspired to, look at it as a business right off the bat. I just wanted the kit, and really truly made sure I set the expectations right in my sponsor's eyes, because I didn't want her to expect more from me than what I knew that I could give. And so my journey just kind of grew and changed, and I just started getting more Scentsy spirit, and I saw Scentsy giving me the confidence and the ability to do things I never ever thought that I could do. And oh my gosh, I could spend my entire time telling you about my story, but today, what does Scentsy look like in our lives? I get to be a stay-at-home mom. Yay. I have my little man. We homeschool, and then we spend the rest of our lives on either a golf course or a baseball field, like the entire time. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm happily married to my big handsome Marcus, and Luke keeps us running like crazy. So I am in love with my topic today, building strength in leaders. Why am I so passionate about this topic? I think there's a couple of reasons. I think I am so in love with leadership today because I realized that when I first started out with Scentsy, it was what I was the most afraid of. See, I was going to give away not my first, but both of my first 2 recruits. I was going to give them away. I begged my director to let them sign up under her, because I lacked confidence, but also I just had this deep fear of someone relying on me and me not living up to what they needed or what they deserved. And so, I'm passionate today about leadership because I've watched myself grow. I've watched people under me grow. But I'm also passionate about this topic of building strength in leaders because I know that one day leadership bonuses are going to make up the majority of your paycheck, the majority. And that motivates me to be passionate. It makes up the majority of my paycheck today. In fact, did you know that some superstar directors say that their leadership bonuses that they get paid on from their teams and groups can make up to 98% of their paycheck? That's huge. That's motivating, right? Okay, so I have 2 pulse points that I want to chat with you about before I jump into this training. And so I just mentioned that the financial benefit of building a huge, strong team of leaders under you is huge, right? The financial benefit is shiny and amazing and game-changing, right? But if that is your primary source of motivation for building leadership in your team, then you're probably going to find yourself lacking at the end of this training, at the end of this year, and all along in your Scentsy journey. Because you need to remember that you will get the most results whenever you are geared to helping someone else achieve greatness. So if you can refocus your attention away from it building your paycheck and your future and your empire, if you can refocus that attention and make it to where your primary motivation for building leadership in your team and in your group is to be a blessing to their paycheck and to change their empire, it's a game changer. You will completely get different results. Even if you do every single thing just as I'm telling you today, every tip that I give you today, you can do it perfectly. But if your motivation is purely selfish, then you're not going to get the same results as you would if you were coming from a heart of helping see them grow and helping change their paycheck. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, second pulse point, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty. So the second pulse point is this. It's a question. Are your expectations of your leaders higher than what your expectations of yourself is in business? Are you as committed as what you're wanting and expecting your leaders to be? That's a pulse point, and you want to get that checked out. Okay, so if you checked out okay on both of those pulse points, then you're ready, and we are going to talk about some really awesome and easy tips to really build exceptionally strong leadership within your Scentsy organization. And the best thing about this, these tips can work for you, whether you're a lead consultant, whether you have one team member under you, or whether you're a superstar director and have thousands. Okay, so number one, start early. Start early. Waiting until your leaders get to superstar consultant to start pouring inspiration into them about how to be a leader, that can be absolutely toxic. It can be completely damaging to them. Instead, why not celebrate their title of leader when Scentsy celebrates it? When Scentsy first recognizes them as a leader, it's when they hit lead consultant. So that is when I start working with them and mentoring them and coaching them into leadership. I start the second they promote to lead. I want to try to start building a belief in them because I go into it thinking that all of my lead consultants are as shy and confused and scared and oh my gosh, all the things that I was. I just go into it thinking that they're going to need all of the help and coaching that I had. And so I go into it at lead. I build a belief in them and make sure that they know that I believe in them, that their team believes in them, and that we're on this journey together and that they can do this. So I build their belief in themselves a couple of different ways. I'll share some ideas real fast. Facebook shout outs to let not just them, but their families and their customers and their friends and their team know that I think that they're amazing and they just hit lead consultant and they're a leader now in this business. That's huge. Facebook shout out, Happy Mail. I love Happy Mail. And so I think my team does too. And so I love sending out a leadership packet, and basically it's just full of like postcards and stickers and certificates and anything that I feel like that they can teach and use to cheer for their team. So I'm not going to wait for someone to become a director or even a superstar consultant before I go, hey, here's your job to cheer for your team and encourage your team. Now let's get busy. No, I'm going to start at lead consultant when they're actually excited about being a leader. Okay. So I'm going to give them postcards that they can send to their own team members to say, way to go. Yeah, I'm probably going to be taking care of their team members too. But the deal is if I can get them used to acting like a leader at lead consultant, then when they become a director, it's going to be old hat. They're going to be super confident and excited. Okay, so when I started doing these leadership packets and when I started focusing my leadership training as a lead consultant, I started noticing that the leadership in my team started really changing and getting way stronger. I started noticing that the people that in my group that promoted to director were more solid and they didn't waver as much. And some of them never even went to DQ because they had been acting like a director since they were a lead consultant. That's huge. Okay, thing number 2. We are building leadership in our team and in our leaders, and we want to do that in a strong, solid way. Here's the idea number 2. Quit being so gosh dang perfect. Oh my gosh, stop trying to be perfect. Okay, so I start every meeting, and those of you that are in my group, you know this, and you're probably just going to start chuckling, but I start every single one of my meetings with a most embarrassing moment time. And this is a time where I start us off with something absolutely dumb blonde, crazy junk that I forgot or that I did wrong or that I messed up on. And I usually have a fresh one every single meeting because I'm goofy and I forget things and I'm bad in math and all these things. Anyway, but what happens is I start off with my most embarrassing moment. And then I start getting them to share theirs. And here's what I found. I have found that people come to Scentsy and they look at us as leaders and they think that we've got our junk together. They think that we're really awesome and perfect and that we don't struggle. And I've heard people tell me that. So when they see me get up on stage or at the beginning of a call or whatever I'm doing, and me start it off with talking about something absolutely brain dead that I did that week, they're like, "Ooh, wait a minute, she goofs up too? Okay, that's all right, I can do this." And it also helps them connect with me better too. But I've had people tell me, "Laura, when you shared your story about whatever crazy thing that I did that day or that week, when I heard you give that embarrassing moment, it made me feel like I could do this. I could mess up and be awesome too." And isn't that what we want our teams to feel like? Isn't that what we want them to know, is that they can be flawed and be awesome. They can be absolute goof ups and bad in math, but they can be a huge success at Scentsy. I mean, isn't that what we want them to realize? Well, then sharing our imperfections can do nothing but help inspire them better. And so I want to challenge you to stop being so perfect. It's okay to be goofy. It's okay to share your craziness and let them know that you mess up sometimes too. Okay, thing number three. Thing number three, oh my gosh, I'm pretty passionate about this one and I could spend 2 days. So bear with me as I try to squeeze 2 days worth of inspiration about this one into like 8 minutes. Build community, build community, build community. Thing number three, and maybe the most important of all of these, is to build community. So you are the chief of this tribe. A tribe of 1, you're still chief. A tribe of 1,000, still chief. A tribe of 10,000, chief. So, as the chief of your community and your tribe, there are some things that you can do to make everyone feel like that they have a part and that they have a place, and that will make leaders emerge. Some of my leaders never shown signs of leadership early on in their Scentsy business. It wasn't until they found a place in our community, our Scentsy family. I'm their Scentsy mama. It's my job to give them a place and footing and make them feel welcome. So I'm going to give you, oh gosh, I'll just spend the rest of our time today, which is like not very long, but I'll spend the rest of our time, and when I run out of time, I'll just stop. But I'm just going to give you just tons of ideas about how I build community in my Scentsy family. And these are ideas that you can use too, no matter how many people you have under you. Number 1, build community by asking everyone to cheer when you do a shout out for someone. I don't care if it's on your Facebook wall. Ask for people to cheer for them. So a lot of times we just post things and we just think, oh, everybody's going to know that they're supposed to get on there and go woohoo. No, they don't. Ask them to. So when I do a post on my team page or even on my wall about someone that's underneath me, I'll say, hey, you guys, stop your scroll. You got to cheer for this rock star. And then I find people cheer. But if I just say, oh my gosh, this rock star just promoted, everybody's liking it and nobody's really cheering. Does that make sense? If you want it to happen, then ask for them to do it. Okay? So thing number 2 under building community is randomly send out postcards to spirit leaders. So I call my spirit leaders, I kind of tried to come up with a name, spirit leaders, to encompass anybody on my team, leader or not, that answers a question, helps out a Scentsy sister, cheers for someone, shares a cool nugget or tip that they found somewhere else. Those are my spirit leaders. I can't do this job without my spirit leaders. And if I work it right and encourage it right, they're going to see that they may be a spirit leader now, but they could be a director soon by doing the very same things that they're already doing. Spirit leading is where it's at. It's the culture of our teams. So I reward my spirit leaders. I send them things. I tell them how I couldn't do this without them. I tell them that I love their spirit and that they are setting the tone of our entire team page or whatever. So praise your spirit leaders to build community. Number 3, praise consistency and participation. Newsflash. we're supposed to reward what we want repeated. And unfortunately, there's not really a quick report in our workstation that will tell you if someone has been on the Tuesday training calls. There's not really a report in our workstation that will show, an easy report that will show, who's done the Scent and Warmer of the Month every single month for the last 12 months. But those are the things that we should be rewarding, because Scentsy rewards all the other stuff. Scentsy gives them pay raises. Scentsy takes them on trips. Scentsy sends them pins in the mail and amazing fun stuff. But you know what? We can create community by praising the things that Scentsy can't really praise, and that would be participation and consistency. So see what that would look like in your business, even if you have a team of one. All right, so thing number 4 under creating community, delegate. My pastor early in my life taught me a lot about delegating, and I really never realized how great he was at this until I became a Scentsy director. And his name was Brother Gene, and I saw him, even as a child, put people on the spot. And it was really goofy, and they were about to choke him out because they were scared. But he built their belief by delegating things to them that were big things. So he delegated something to me when I was 12 years old, and I couldn't eat for like 3 days. He told me in front of everyone one Sunday night that he wanted me to start playing the piano for church. I had never played the piano for church. I'd only played classically. I had 3 days to prepare. He wanted me to get up there Wednesday night and play for congregational singing. I was not ready. I would have been ready if he gave me 3 months. 3 days was insane. But his belief in me made me believe that maybe I could do it. Scared, crazy, gonna mess up. But I played the piano for 17 years for my church, for that same church, and it started by that Wednesday night that I only had 3 days practice or preparation. So look into your downline. Which leader could you delegate to? Something as simple as finding an inspirational post on Pinterest that they could be in charge of doing for the next 7 days. Maybe being director for the day, director for the weekend. Maybe you could ask them to be the guest speaker at your next team meeting and have them train on a topic like basket parties or how to do follow-up systems. Something simple, but delegating may give them a belief in their heart about themselves and make them totally believe that they could be something awesome in Scentsy. And it starts with you realizing that potential for them and then acting on it. I'm running out of time. Thing number 5. Segregate your leaders. So one of the most powerful things that I feel like you can do to create strong leaders and build them up is to isolate them, let them get to know you more, have a communication system that's away from your team Facebook page. I use Voxer, Voxer. It's a walkie-talkie app. It works off of Wi-Fi. It's really fantastic. And I Voxer my leaders, and it's a very exclusive invitation. I don't Voxer everybody, but I will tell them, hey, I really love where you're going in Scentsy. I love your Scentsy spirit. I love the direction that your path is taking in this, and I really want to be on this journey better with you and support you better and communicate with you more one-on-one to help you during this time. And so the best venue I have for that is Voxer. Would you Voxer me? And they always say yes, and it really helps me to get to know them and hold their hand and support them on this journey. So segregating your leaders and creating a strong way to communicate with them away from the team page will help them feel like that, they are worth your time and worth your effort. It'll also give you that inroad to get to know them better and to find out what motivates them and what scares them and all that kind of good stuff. So I only have time for one more, you guys. All right. So say things like this to them, and I might cry because this was a game changer for me. But when you say things to people like, it's obvious what kind of director you're going to be because you're already showing great leadership skill. When you tell somebody that and they feel like a failure on the inside, you make them believe that they are okay. And coming from someone that doesn't have a lot of confidence, I remember vividly every single time someone spoke love into my heart about me, about what they saw in me. And that is the only reason that I am a leader in Scentsy today, is because there were people in my journey that told me that they saw that I could be something, that they saw that I could be a leader. They saw that I was going somewhere. Even when I didn't see it myself, they told me that. What could you tell your leaders that may appear strong? I think I appeared strong to my upline, but in the inside I wasn't. But they still spoke these things to me, and it made me feel like that, hey, maybe I'm coming across better than what I feel. So think about how you could speak belief into your leaders. Think about what you could say that would help them visualize where they're going, help them see themselves 2 ranks ahead of where they are. Talk them through that process. Say, oh my gosh, you're a lead consultant, but I already look at you like a superstar consultant because you act like one. You have got everything going for you. You are there, girl. When you speak to them like that, then they really kind of start believing that they are. So anyway, that's all I have time for, you guys. I have really enjoyed this. I hope that you have some things in your heart and in your mind and maybe on a sheet of paper that you can put into practice to build leaders that you already have. Even if they're certified consultants, these are things that you might could start doing to help them realize their potential and become strong leaders. All right. I love you guys. Good luck. And I cannot wait to finish this day out listening to all of these amazing speakers. Bye, you guys.